Hi, friends. Um, I have the pleasure of introducing you to one of my amazing colleagues. She's a dear friend. She's a fellow single mama, a breast cancer survivor, and an aesthetic physician, Dr. Ilana Galgut. Ilana and I met on a trip. We went to Rodan Field's home office in San Francisco back in 2019, which feels like centuries ago now, right? And I was so amazed by her story, I had to invite her on my show. So Ilana, I have a few questions for you. I'm so excited to see you. It's been so long. So tell us a little bit about how you learned about Rodan Fields.
Actually, quite by accident. I wasn't looking for anything, and you know those before and after pictures on Facebook? I saw one of them, and I actually knew the person who'd posted it, and I called her up and I said to her, "You shouldn't post things like that." And she said, "Why?" She was actually my patient. And I said to her, "Because you're lying. Skincare can't do that." And she said, "No, it can." And I said, "No, you've had a laser treatment." I actually went to her medical notes, had a look, called her back and said, "Oh, you haven't had a laser treatment." And she said, "But I told you that." So I said, "Now I'm intrigued. How can skincare do that?" So I asked her for the ingredients. At this stage, Australia was in pre-launch, so we didn't have products. I couldn't look at it. I couldn't touch it and put it on. I looked at the ingredients. I'd been working with a dermatologist in his office for the last 20 years, so I really knew that skincare didn't work. And I went through the ingredients, tick, 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 tick. And I said to her, "I'm in." But I didn't know what in meant. So I enrolled or pre-enrolled, and sitting at basketball one day with my daughter, another doctor, mom, sat next to me and said, "How's work?" So I said, "Oh, okay, I'm still injecting, whatever. I've actually started something new." "Oh, what is it?" I didn't even know that I was going to be a consultant. I had no idea. Sometimes I get people who want to read all the details and all the everything. All I wanted to know when I enrolled, if it's not for me, can I get out? I don't want to be locked in. And the answer was yes. So leaving basketball, I said to the mom, "Would you like me to send you a bit of information?" "Yes." "Okay." I did. Woke up the next morning, she had pre-enrolled under me. So I built a business that at this stage I didn't actually know what I was doing. And when we launched, September 2017, I actually had a business, but I still didn't know what that meant. But by that stage, I'd a year or two before that volunteered at the dermatology practice where I worked for a new technology treatment, like a laser. I'd been through breast cancer. I knew that being on long-term hormone blocker treatment, my skin would become saggy, loose, and really I would age quicker. So I volunteered for things, and this time they burned me, and I left the clinic with my skin swollen like this, blistered, water dripping off my face, and it eventually healed into permanent scarring. I had other treatments, they didn't work. So when I started using my Rodan Fields products, my expectation was that small because nothing had changed my scarred skin. Previously, I had beautiful skin. And in 10 months of using Redefined regimen with the AmpMD roller and the retinol, my scarring became invisible. That made me take a really good look that I've got something here that's safe, that can minimize people having to have what I do at work, lasers, injections, all these things that work, but they have really significant risks. And even though most people don't get problems, sometimes they do. So it changed the whole way that I work, that I now offer safe first and then sprinkle the other stuff on top, mind-blowing for me because I didn't believe in skincare.
Wow, that's incredible. This is kind of the first time I'm hearing this story as well, and in such detail. So, tell me, have you ever, before this, have you ever had any sales experience?
Absolutely not. I am a doctor. I was a doctor from day dot. I was always going to be a doctor. I love what I do. I became a family physician because I love the contact. I love making a difference. Sales is not what I do. But I honestly look at the way I work with my business. I'm not in sales. I'm offering people something that they're probably already buying, and it probably isn't working very well because people's bathroom cabinets are usually product graveyards. And who hasn't got a million bottles of product they don't use or they used twice and it didn't work? So I was one of those girls. And selling isn't part of me, isn't part of what I want to do, but I care deeply about making a difference. And what I've found is that I'm actually empowering other moms, even men, who actually want a bit of a second income. And last year and this year were a really good snapshot of you can't really rely on one thing. I never ever thought I'd be a doctor out of work during the whole of 7 months of Melbourne COVID lockdown. I stayed in bed, but I earned money working on my phone. In fact, my business turboed up and grew massively while I lay in bed. So I'm waffling on, but no, I am not a salesperson. I'm honest, ethical, into morals. I don't do hard sell. And my job is not to convince people to buy my products. My job is, if someone's interested, I share with them what changed my skin and also what changed my life. And I give the info, but their job is to make the decision. And if the decision is, no thanks, not right now, not for me, that's perfect because skincare is that much of my world. I'm a mom and a fur baby mom, and there's so much more to me. I'm not sales.
That's fantastic, and I have to attest to you know the having the graveyard of products and completely getting rid of everything else I had after I started using our products. So since you've gone through cancer yourself, and I know there are a lot of people out there who have had as well. I have a friend right now who is actually going through that, unfortunately. And one thing that people are concerned about sometimes are ingredients. And since you have that expertise as a physician, as a doctor, can you speak a little bit more about our ingredients and how safe they are?
It's really fascinating to get onto this topic because after my cancer, I was actually told that I wouldn't survive. I was told that I was stage 4 breast cancer and it was very unlikely that I'd get to 10 years. I am now entering year 10. I haven't had a recurrence. So, how did I approach my inner healing? During and after cancer, I became vegan. I did a lot of organic. I did a lot of clean everything. But concurrently, I had another, in fact, a Russian doctor who I worked with, also going through breast cancer. And I was fairly strict in clean eating and living. She was religious in what she did, only organic, no chemicals. And sadly, she passed away. And that led me to have a really big think about things. Paracetamol, 500 milligrams or 1 gram, is safe. If you go and take a whole bottle of it, 40 tablets, it's not safe. If you drink 8 glasses of water a day, you're okay. If you drink 800 glasses of water a day, you are going to get very, very sick. So the way I look at the skincare, we're applying literally a tiny dot over a face, not even the whole body. And we're only doing that twice a day. I definitely say to all my people, please don't drink the toner. Please don't gobble down the clay mask. It's not designed for that. But, we take medication orally or via, I've got a huge bruise here from my surgery this week. Medication is given orally or intravenously because it doesn't absorb through the skin. And assuming that only skincare chemicals will absorb in a high enough dose, enough to poison you, doesn't make sense. Otherwise, we'd be applying everything topically. The skin is a barrier. When you go swimming in the ocean, you don't come out with sodium, salt, toxicity. You don't. Same with swimming in a swimming pool with chlorine. So the skin is designed to be a barrier, and it's almost impenetrable. Sometimes things do go through, but again, you need to look at the dose response. So the way I look at our products, they're designed by dermatologists who are not new to the game. They've been in skincare formulation their entire careers. They're not newbies at this. They're also adjunct professors on the dermatology faculty at Stanford University. So they're really highly regarded, and they're involved in research. When my doctor offers me an antibiotic for pneumonia, I take it because it's scientifically proven. And similarly with our products, our doctors are not going and finding the weird and the wonderful. The ingredients in our products are clinically tested, scientifically tested in general dermatology studies. So in PubMed, you find retinol, vitamin C, kojic acid. These are not novel. They are stock standard dermatology ingredients. And I think unless you're bathing your whole body submerged in it all day, no one's doing that, or drinking it. Personally, and I don't speak for everyone, this is only my personal opinion, having survived 10 years, even though I wasn't supposed to, I am so happily putting on my skincare AM and PM, and I'm not nervous. I think breathing in the air, drinking alcohol, drinking Diet Coke, those things are probably a lot worse than applying a judicious amount of medically or scientifically tested skincare.
Yes, right. And and your skin, you mentioned, how, you had scars, and even when we saw each other, almost 2 years ago now, your skin is just glowing. I can't believe, I would have never guessed you had those scars. And thank you for that. I think there's a lot of misconception out there about ingredients and what really gets absorbed, and how safe, all kinds of ingredients are. So thank you for that explanation. I have another question, and that is, you kind of touched a little bit about, what this business has been able to do for you in the pandemic. Can you share a little bit more about what you have gained?
Well, when they say life-changing skincare, I am a skeptic, I'm highly cynical, and I don't go for sales pitch. So when I saw that tagline, they didn't get me with that. I thought, this is a pseudo-cult kind of thing. I don't believe it. Anyway, up till 3 years ago, I had a really tough life, single mom, 2 kids with disabilities, and then my cancer. I didn't take vacations. I didn't travel. I'd never seen the world. I'd seen South Africa and a bit of Australia. So when I was invited to attend convention in Vegas 2017, this was massive for me. I'd never experienced anything like that. And I went. at my own cost. But subsequent to that, I earned the high five trip in San Francisco 2018, completely and utterly life changing. I met friends who I'm going to have for life. I traveled San Fran. I then went on an Alaska cruise alone afterwards. This wouldn't have happened. And I've earned another 3 trips. So I went to Cabo, Mexico, another trip to San Francisco 2019 when we met. Thanks, COVID, you've deprived me of my trip to Queenstown, New Zealand. And I'm probably going to take a staycation in Melbourne, maybe at the Langham Hotel, and be pampered. So for me, being part of this business completely and utterly changed my life. It opened me to a world I knew nothing about. It actually cut me down to size. I'd been walking around thinking I'm a doctor in a way, and I'm always down to earth. I'm not one of those. But it made me realize the only reason I became a doctor is because I had a tube of really strong super glue when I was in my early 20s, and I stuck my bottom to a chair in a library for around 12 hours a day. That's how you become a doctor. And I missed out on so much of life, but I now have a solid global business. What does my business involve? Let's talk a bit about that sales word. Sales isn't part of what I do. Do I have customers who get their skincare from me? Yes, I'm their advisor and their coach. But the part that rocks my world, I have a whole team of other brand affiliates, brand partners, consultants, whatever you want to call them. And that's what rocks my world. I'm actually now their business coach. And they ring me with their little dramas with the husband, dramas with this. So my medical career actually helped. And what I can see now, whatever any of us study or become to where we get to here, all of those skills see us brilliantly forward into the Rodan and Fields business because we're not all good at everything. So last night, one of my lovely consultants, Ashley Kahan, came over and we planned our in-person event next week. Now, she is really good at planning. I am really terrible at planning, and we work well together because I'm the techie girl. So I'm Google docking notes and she's making lists. She's planning what to buy to make it look pretty. I don't care about pretty. So it's really given me the opportunity to share something bigger with other people that we can all be part of and we can all complement one another. It's mind-blowing. I never imagined I'd be doing this. And interestingly, in the US, there are a lot of doctors, nurses, lawyers, accountants, stay-at-home moms. Guess what? Here in Australia, same thing. It's diverse. So the business really does suit everyone. There's something in it. Doesn't matter who you are, what you do, you can run it your way. And we pull together when we need to. So no one really is my boss. No one's your boss. You do it your way. The one thing I like to always mention to people, money doesn't fall from the sky. You don't join a gym and suddenly get fit. If you don't go and do the work, nothing will change. And then you might say, going to the gym doesn't work. Actually, the problem is you didn't go to the gym, you didn't do the work. So similar with this, you actually have 2 options in Rodan and Fields when you join the wholesale arm. You can grow a business, but you can also just use products at the deepest discount and once in a blue moon, maybe share them. So it's so flexible that really I don't believe busyness is a reason not to be part of this. It really suits everyone.
I agree. Yes, and I mean, I have people on my team who work, between 60 and 80 hours a week with kids and doing other, having other commitments, and they're, extremely successful, because really all it takes is you have to have a reason why, right? That's really important, and you have to have the discipline, because we always find time for the things that we want to do. And one thing actually, you sort of are started going in that direction, and I'd love to continue. So, and we'll wrap it up here shortly. But one question I had for you is, why do you think people fail? And is there such a thing as failing in our business?
I think, you don't know what you don't know. And once you realize that you don't know what you don't know, so much further ahead. Similar to the gym thing, oh, I don't do sales. I'm not going to contact anyone. I'm not going to post. Well, when you run a brick and mortar business, let's say a gym, you do open the door every single day. If you don't, nobody's going to window shop. No one will walk past. Well, they'll walk past and they'll just say, dead business. So the way that I like to think of it running my online business, I post almost every day on social media. I don't post all about skincare though. I make it mainly about myself so that it's not like a Rodan and Fields advert. I mean, we're all sick of fake and sick of hard sell. We want genuine. So I tend to post about myself, and then maybe once or twice a week, I'll do a skincare post. But it's done in a way that it's not salesy. It tends to be things that I am #mind blown over, that if I see an outstanding result, find incredible, I share that. But I don't expect people to necessarily purchase. I run it, I show them, it's me, I'm the girl with the skincare, that's one aspect of me. And if they want what I have, they can approach me. And I'm in a really fortunate position now, having been consistent over about 4 years. When I say consistent, let's just break that down. I'm talking 15 minutes a day. I don't do this all day, all night. In fact, I'm a bit naughty. I work in waves. So I'll do quite a bit of work, nothing. And, but I'm consistent in my waves, but I make sure that I'm showing people I am alive. I'm here every day, so that if someone's thinking, gee, I would like to try that stuff, maybe they'll think of me. And I think you probably work in a similar way of, we genuine people.
Right. It's really about consistency for sure. And any business, like you said, if you don't open that storefront every single day, and thankfully we're not stuck having to go to a brick and mortar every single day. It's easy enough to open up social media once a day and post something, and not being an infomercial also, it's and that's all 100% taught. Is that right? I mean, you kind of learn as you go. So
Absolutely.
one thing in closing, I would like to ask, what would you advise, what would your advice be to somebody who is sort of toying with the idea of starting their Rodan and Fields business, or even because I am, my goal is to really inspire people to do something, especially in this time when a lot of people are, have lost jobs and are seeking new opportunities. What would your advice be to them?
I think probably not to overthink it. I mean, what I explained to you, I joined having no idea at all. And probably that was a good thing, because if I'd gone through all the nitty gritty and what if and what when, first of all, it's quite overwhelming. And I think knowing that you're not forced to do anything, that is quite a relief. The other thing is having a 60-day money back guarantee on every single order, whether you're a customer or a consultant. That's actually quite nice. You don't need to stress. You're not spending money and wasting it. You're probably not going to be contributing to the product graveyard because you'll use the products and they do work. And I think if you have enough staying power just to get your skin amazing, people will notice. And if they don't, keep going, because what I've found with most skincare, it plateaus off really quickly. What I'm seeing with these products, it doesn't. You just keep improving. And that's insane. So, my advice to someone thinking about it, there is no downside. You can join today and terminate tomorrow. Why would you do that? I don't know, but you can. You can join and never grow a business. You can join not growing a business now, but in a year's time, circumstances change. So you can then change direction. There are so many opportunities, and it really can be whatever you want it to be.
That's right. Well, thank you so much for coming on live and being my guest today. I am going to sign us off, and thank you to everybody who is watching and who will be watching this as a recording. And hopefully, this was helpful and inspiring. And I know I am inspired by you, Ilana. Thank you so much.
Thanks so much.